So, my father was in the Canadian Navy during the War of Pigs. And so he used to tell a story about continuity of government. It's how I knew the term, even as a child. But that term's been being thrown around again about this whole COVID debacle. So, during the Bay of Pigs, he was stationed in Halifax. He was in a convoy, an armada, that was going to be going down to Cuba because the American military was about to start World War III with Russia. And almost did that. But those Marines that were sent in there first, I don't know, it was a problem. JFK didn't know about it, though, is the bottom line. And who did know about it was my dad, because he was in the Navy and he was going to get shipped out. And so his buddies, who, I don't know, found out earlier, they're the shift before him or whatever, they kind of played a trick on him. Like, yeah, no, Chuck, get up, we're heading to war. And he was like, okay, well, let's have at her, because that's what he did. My dad was a true hero, actually. He was a cop and, well, the greatest man I've ever known. And, but that stuck with him because he knew then that there was something rotten. And what was rotten was that there still today are hardliners in the American military that want to strike first with Russia. This Ukraine thing is so dangerous. The media isn't touching on it. What you're watching in the media is terrible. And that brings me back around to this continuity of government thing. So this whole COVID experiment has been pushing that continuity of government, how can I phrase this? Continuity of government is, in case of a nuclear disaster, the government will come in and just take everything over. Well, this Northcom is what it is, actually. And that existed back then. It still exists today. So it's like the Five Eyes, right? Like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and America. But they knew that this was going ahead. And Kennedy stopped it. He stopped that. He also found out that Alan Dulles, who was the director of the CIA, was planning on doing terrorist attacks on American soil to sell a war with Russia. It's all about, like General Smedley Butler's book, War is a Racket, because it absolutely is a racket. And anyway, this is all about making something an emergency that wasn't an emergency in the first place. COVID went from a flu to a cold, and it was most likely made in a lab in Wuhan. You've been lied to for a long time by people you were supposed to trust. One to think on, kids.